The next leg of this bull run seems to be right around the corner. It's not only technical analysis that would suggest that, but also, and for example, the Bitcoin supply, which we can see on exchanges. These are objective figures. And what the numbers represent is that a BTC supply shock is in the making. Some would argue that it's imminent. And then at the same time, Bitcoin dominance, as another metric, is decreasing. Taken together, these are indicators that would suggest Altseason is about to take off. Bitcoin still can potentially do a 2x from here. It can double, maybe more, maybe less. But if you pick up the right altcoin, of course, as a function of their market caps, as smaller projects, they could do a 5x, they could do a 10x, they could do a 20x if they're the right size, possibly better. And so this is the time to position yourself accordingly. We're right up against some pretty good months here in terms of altcoin performance. And as such, we're counting down 4 altcoins that should do better, probably a whole lot better than the rest once this alt season does kick off. Welcome to the channel. My name is Maddie and this is Altcoin Buzz. All the best of luck if you choose to invest into these projects, into other projects, whatever the case may be. I genuinely wish you well. Just remember that I'm not a financial or investment advisor, which means by extension, this video is not official financial or investment advice. At number 1 on our list here is ONDO Finance, whose ticker is ONDO, O-N-D-O. With this one, of course, we are knee-deep in the RWA sector, real-world assets, as you probably know by now. ONDO is the absolute leader in this sector, at least in the crypto sector of real-world assets. We've covered this project a whole lot recently for good reason. Check out our latest videos if you're not up to speed. We've given this project a lot of coverage recently because there have been a lot of important developments. For instance, we have Larry Fink, BlackRock's CEO, who has publicly and repeatedly stated that he's a big fan of RWA and tokenization. And then at the same time, consider that ONDO Finance keeps working on delivering its main features. It's got a partnership with BlackRock. Its global markets initiative is going to be available on Solana. And ONDO's founder and CEO, Nathan Allman, he spoke at the recent Solana Accelerate conference. Their global markets is going to bring TradFi securities on chain. That is a big deal because as a result, it means you can use them in DeFi. The ONDO chain is already live since February. This is a layer 1 chain and it's specifically designed to meet RWA requirements. So that means, for example, you can trade stocks on chain. That is a big deal. And just to list one important advantage of this, it's the fact that ONDO doesn't have a closing bell, right? Like the rest of crypto, it's available 24/7 and does not adhere to traditional Wall Street business hour trading hours. And another great development here when it comes to the ONDO chain is the cooperation that we've seen between Connexus by JP Morgan, also Chainlink, and ONDO. So this is something that connects bank settlement infrastructure to ONDO chain. Now, since about March of this year, ONDO, O-N-D-O, has been in a sort of sideways shuffle, mostly between 80 and 90 cents. We're a little bit higher than that right now. We're at 95.5 cents with a market cap of just over $3 billion. It's still a pretty good entry point, not only for this bull run, but for the long term. If you extrapolate and if you accept the trajectories that a lot of the analysts and a lot of the bullish people in terms of their outlook on RWA are hypothesizing. 95 cents is still a pretty good deal. Next up, and at number 2, we're looking at Hedera. HBAR is the ticker, HBAR. This is another protocol that has received plenty of interest from us, also for good reason, of course. This is a project that distinguishes itself from other blockchains because, very simply, it is not a blockchain. It is what's known as a hash graph, which in a nutshell, not to go into all the specifics here and the technicalities, but it allows for more efficient data processing and results in faster transactions versus blockchain. So of course, this makes Hedera ideal for big financial institutions like banks. And we have some banks, for example, which already use Hedera, FIS, WorldPay, Shinhan Bank, and DBS Bank. All of these have signed up. Also for stablecoin payments, though, and for big worldwide players like Google, IBM, Boeing, Deutsche Telekom, and LG. These are all partners that use Hedera. And the project has attracted these partnerships because Hedera offers all kinds of use cases. So data integrity with AI, RWA tokenization, decentralized identity, DeFi payments, also NFTs, and a whole bunch of other categories as well. So naturally, this has resulted in attention, which subsequently resulted in a big and growing ecosystem. We have a lot of different sectors represented in that ecosystem. So Web3 applications, enterprise applications, wallets and custodians, of course, network explorers, tooling and integrations, and others as well. And there's also another sector in which Hedera is active, one which you may not be a fan of, CBDCs, central bank digital currencies. The fact is that various central banks are actively exploring this feature with Hedera. I'm not a fan of this, but it does look like they're going to be implemented in one form or another, whether we like it or not. And that information, if you have it, is valuable to some extent. So do with that what you will, but that seems to be the way things are going. Again, you don't have to be a fan. I'm not. And in terms of price analysis, HBAR seems a little bit indecisive at the moment. However, like the other altcoins that we're covering today, it seems to be poised for a breakout. We have a current price right now of just under 19 or so cents with a market cap of $7.9 billion. This is a project on the larger end. As you can see, it's ranked number 23 by market cap among all cryptocurrencies. But considering the tech, considering how ambitious they are, it still has room to grow. SUI Network, SUI, is next on our list. This is another one of our favorite altcoins, of course. We've covered this one a lot as well, including this recent video in which I compared SUI to Solana. We asked the question if SUI in 2025 has the potential to mimic or parallel what Solana did in 2021 as really the champion of that particular bull run. SUI also just had their base camp earlier this month, which was a great success. And we also saw lots of exciting news and positive announcements that came out of that. But of course, the big elephant in the room is the recent Cetus hack. Now, unfortunately, a hacker managed to drain Cetus for $220 million. But fortunately, with quick and decisive action, the SUI Foundation, Cetus, and the SUI validators managed to freeze $160 million. And then just today, a validator vote started, deciding if Cetus should receive the frozen funds. The vote went in Cetus's favor. We have more than 50% of the validators which voted in favor of this movement. However, no good deed goes unpunished, and this also caused a big discussion about SUI being too centralized, which perhaps is a valid criticism in some ways. Of course, everybody wants the Cetus users to be made whole. Just the question, somewhat philosophically, is if SUI should be involved in this at all. It was, after all, Cetus's mistake, and this is the kind of thing that boils down to opinions. Let me know what you think they should do, which actions should be taken, if any. Curious to hear your thoughts about that in the comments below. Nevertheless, on the back of this news, SUI and its ecosystem tokens are actually pretty good and are looking healthy once again. SUI is up. It's at $3.69 as I record right now with a $12.3 billion market cap. Cetus protocol is up as I record right now over 20% on the day. And Turbos is up over 36%. At the end of the day, I personally did expect the SUI dip to be temporary. It's a great project when it comes to bouncing back. And the Cetus hack was unfortunate, but just a bump in the road, seemingly. The market seems to be entering kind of a quiet period right now, even though many altcoins are still not doing great. There are some exceptions, though, such as SUI. SUI is built to last, including these recent short-term problems in the market. It is quickly becoming one of the leading altcoins in the crypto market. And let's consider why. First of all, SUI is crushing it in all the big sectors that it supports. DeFi, that's where SUI crossed $1 billion in TVL and is almost at $1.8 billion in record time. SUI is the third largest blockchain by daily active addresses with almost 2.5 million real daily users. Walrus is changing the game in decentralized data storage. Its token launch has been successful, while Seal makes things more secure and more private. And then we also have SUI Play 0x1, which is coming in September and is now officially sold out with 10,000 pre-orders. And if it's your thing, SUI even has a small but growing meme coin market for the meme coin lovers out there. If you haven't used SUI lately or haven't used it at all, then come give it a try, and also be sure to follow SUI's X account for all the latest updates. Finally, here at number 4, let's check out Virtual's protocol. The ticker for this one is Virtual, VIRTUAL. This is the last pick that we're considering today in this list of altcoins. And it's a launch pad for AI agents. And right now it's on fire. To be more precise, we're actually down slightly on the day, but this is a project that was up about 20% earlier in the week. Virtual's recently launched its Genesis launchpad. This reorganized a few things on the platform. The short version is buy Virtual and stake it on the platform. Now you receive Virtual, and this gives you Virgin points. You can pledge these Virgin points towards new projects on the launchpad. You will also need to add some Virtual, and you're in for a ride with the AI agent that you've picked. Many of these AI agents are also doing very well. For example, the Luna agent, Luna, is up right now over 10% with a $31 million market cap as I record. Another example is AIXBT, which has had a phenomenal week. But that being said, other projects have not done as well. Certain projects that made the bonding curve are down in double digits on the day. For example, here we have Acolyte. I think that's how you say it, ACOLYT, with only a $7 million market cap. That's down over 13% on the day. But look, nonetheless, the general tendency is upwards for Virtuals. Check this one out if you've not already. Again, check out that previous coverage as well for a more extensive, in-depth look at what it's doing.